Hello, everybody. This is Russell Epperson and my wife Allison, and we are with the Central Montana Church of Christ in Lewistown, Montana. So you all support us, and we're asked to do a video of kind of introducing ourselves. I'll let Allison talk a little bit throughout this. We'll kind of go back and forth and tell you a little bit about us and our work.
So I was born and raised in Mountain Home. As many of you know, I'm David and Sandra Pitchford's daughter. I went to Freed-Hardeman for college, and so that's where I met Russell.
Yep, we lived there for about 12 years, I guess, maybe 13, something like that. And I worked at FHU for 11 years, was in financial aid, went over to HR, did the purchasing department as well, so ran 2 or 3 departments, and really got to the point where we felt like we were pretty comfortable and had things figured out, but we wanted to do more in the kingdom. So I think through the Spirit's leading, we decided to try to figure out what was up in the northwest part of the world, and found somebody coming to do a VBS in little bitty Lewistown, Montana, which I thought was close to Arizona. Didn't realize it was touching Canada. So we visited, and 3 months later we were moving to Montana. So we've been here ever since.
So we moved here in 2011. Our kids were 2, 4, and 6, and now Caden is in college in Bozeman, Montana, Montana State University. And Brinley is 17. She works at a local coffee shop here and is finishing up her junior year of high school. Tessa just got her permit to drive, and she's thinking about working somewhere soon, and she's a freshman this year, finishing up her year.
So yeah, we work here with the Central Montana Church of Christ. We're on a Main Street location. So if our eyes are looking over here, we're watching people walk by on the sidewalk. And we're kind of here in the foyer, really kind of the opening part of the church building. We'll probably show you a little bit more about it here in a bit. We're supported as missionaries, basically. So we have supporting churches in Montana, Wyoming, and then predominantly in the South. So people like you at the Mountain Home Church of Christ that have been helping us since really we started doing mission work, all the way over to North Georgia, almost, the East Ridge Church of Christ in Chattanooga. So we've got lots of supporters, lots of friends, lots of family throughout the country, really, that have helped us stay here. And we try to report back to them once a year, every 2 years in some cases. As we've gotten older and the kids have gotten older, it's a little tougher sometimes to get to everybody every year, but we do our best.
And our current congregation has people from all walks of life. We're a rural community in Montana, so we have a very down-to-earth group. We have around 50 people each week on Sunday mornings, and our attendance varies depending on calving season, haying season, anything to do with ranching, because we have several ranching families, many of whom drive in from about an hour away, so that really makes our attendance vary, but we have a good group here.
Yeah, and we're in the long, slow growth mode of church growth. You know, you can read books and you can try to figure out ways of doing that, but what we've decided is just come into our community, form relationships, and show them the love of Jesus. And that's paid off through the years. We try to plant seeds and then help others to plant seeds that are in the congregation. And slowly but surely, the congregation's grown. When we moved in, we had, I think, 13 people attending, and that included our family of 5. So through the last almost 13 years, we've had attendance up in the 60 range at one point, and we'll probably hit that throughout the summer at some point. But we're hitting that 40s to 50s each week for the most part. So it's pretty cool, and we're excited to see what God does as we just try to be diligent about building relationships. That's kind of the key point that I focus on. So being involved in the community, doing work through nonprofits. I serve on several boards there, and a lot of our members do the same. Allison's working with a local nonprofit as well. So just doing our best to be in the community, be active, show the love of Jesus. I did start a nonprofit, the Chaplains of Central Montana, and do chaplain work with the local sheriff's office, PD, fire, EMS, those kinds of folks. Have 3 or 4 other chaplains that help out from the community as well. So just an example of some of the work that we get to do.
Besides the local outreach, we are a very tight-knit group with other churches of Christ within the state and neighboring states even. one thing that we do together as far as ministers and their wives is just recently, maybe a few years ago, Russell and I took over hosting the ministers and their wives for a retreat, an annual retreat that's been going on for decades, but we now host it right here in Lewistown each April, and there's about 10 couples that attend that activity from all over Montana and Wyoming. And it's a great time for us to kind of be rejuvenated and stay connected with people from all over the state. And then we also have, Bible camps and youth rallies and other things that we attend that are just a great encouragement, because the nearest church outside of Lewistown, the nearest Church of Christ, is over an hour away, and it's a very small church, and then most of the other churches are 2+ hours away. So having those connections with other Church of Christ families and ministers within the state is really important to us.
Yeah, and speaking of other ministers, I got my buddy Caleb Grove here. He's going to come on camera, and Caleb has been worshiping with us for probably almost 9 years, and we asked him to come help out as an associate minister, really a day a week, but he does more than that. He does a lot more than that, but we pay him as a church to work with us on Wednesdays. Specifically, he helps out with Bible study, meals, do a meal every Wednesday night, and then he preaches for me when I'm out of town. Sometimes we let him take care of that, and we ask him to, and he does it. And other times he coordinates worship. He does what we need him to do. And actually, Allison is now helping out basically as our church administrative assistant on a 1 day a week basis as well. We had a church step up to a couple of them really to help out, to pay her a salary, really to help out with the work as we've grown, as I probably am too busy in the community in some ways, but just trying to do all the different things that are needing to be done, and then really helps our family out in lots of different ways with Social Security and other things. So pretty excited. Wednesdays are a big day for us. We're all three here and we're all three working. So we're recording this on a Wednesday, and I really appreciate Caleb and all the work he does, especially with his technology skills. We were just discussing all the different ways in which he does a lot of help there. So hopefully that's a little bit of information from us to you, for those of you that don't know us and don't know that Allison grew up there, and maybe her parents, Dave and Sandra Pitchford, her brother Landon and his family. Just a lot of good connections there, and I'm sure we'll see you next visit. So thanks for supporting us, for the work that you have done in our lives. I think we're having a mission group from Mountain Home that Landon's helping lead here in just a few months. So we'll have some of your folks coming out to help us. So thank you for that. And look forward to seeing you next time we're around. Thanks.